the exodus continues.
A lot of retailers have been pulling out of the city.
Whole Foods shutting down its flagship location in downtown San Francisco. This just 1 year after opening the store. That's out of concern for the safety of their workers.
Data analysts looked at cities nationwide and found San Francisco ranked last out of 63 cities' downtown recoveries.
San Francisco is an utter mess at this moment. However, it wasn't always like that. This is San Francisco in the 1980s, a relatively normal city, people going to work, enjoying life and the sunshine. Now fast forward to 2023, and it seems like the city has taken a dramatic U-turn. Crime and homelessness are at all-time highs. This graph shows how crime has changed in San Francisco since 2017. As you can see, we've seen a huge jump in robberies and vehicle theft. It seems as leaving your vehicle parked on the street is likely to bring attention, with many people resorting to signs pleading to stay away from their cars.
Park Hotels and Resorts stopped making payments toward the $725 million loan on two of its properties in the heart of Union Square. The first is the Hilton San Francisco Union Square, which takes up an entire city block with more than 1,900 rooms, and the second is Park 55 San Francisco with a little more than 1,000 rooms.
Just a few weeks ago, Park Hotels and Resorts announced that they were stopping payments on a $725 million loan, which included both the Hilton San Francisco Union Square Hotel and the Park 55 San Francisco property, effectively deciding to completely abandon it completely. They stated that after much thought and consideration, we believe that it is in the best interest for Park stockholders to materially reduce our exposure to the San Francisco market. Ongoing concerns over safety and security are part of its rationale for giving up on the two prominent San Francisco hotels, and said that the move would save around $30 million a year in interest payments and some $200 million in maintenance expenses over the next 5 years. Hotel occupancy in the city typically remained above 80% prior to the pandemic. However, that number plummeted to 14%. In March 2023, only 66% of hotel rooms in the city were occupied, according to city data. Park Hotels San Francisco's convention-driven demand is expected to be 40% lower between 2023 and 2027 compared to the pre-pandemic average.
Shocking announcement today as we learn that Nordstrom plans to close its two Market Street locations in San Francisco.
Tonight, the Westfield San Francisco Center is pulling the plug on its famed downtown mall.
Another major retailer is giving up its flagship store near Union Square in San Francisco. AT&T closing its retail hub.
Hotels aren't the only ones abandoning San Francisco. It seems as though the city is also experiencing a retail exodus. The crime is causing major companies to completely abandon the San Francisco metro area. This graph shows the retailers that have closed or are closing their stores in the downtown San Francisco area. This video here shows the number of vacant shop fronts, as clearly the risk of owning a business is far greater than any benefit. Company after company are closing its stores. Just last month, Nordstrom's became the biggest retailer to flee the downtown area. Downtown San Francisco market had changed dramatically over the past several years, impacting customer foot traffic to our stores and our ability to operate successfully. Clearly, the theft and the danger of San Francisco is playing a major role. The downtown San Francisco Westfield owner stated that a number of retailers and businesses are leaving the area due to the unsafe conditions for customers, retailers, and employees, coupled with the fact that these significant issues are preventing economic recovery of the area. The situation is dire when a whole Westfield shopping center decides to close down due to rampant theft. One of the biggest concerns over the current state of retail is the lack of enforcement on crimes. Effectively, law in California states that any theft under $950 is effectively decriminalized. This is putting more and more retailers out of business. San Francisco has become a shoplifter's paradise. Walgreens, another retail, closing more stores as they closed 22 stores in the city due to theft.
It's noon on Thursday, and on California Street, downtown San Francisco appears to be bustling. But look a little closer and you see signs like this: retail space for lease.
It's not a good story, it's not a pleasant story, but it's the reality that we have to live with.
Right now, 30% of all downtown office space is vacant.
When you look at the current commercial real estate sector, nowhere in the US is a crisis more pronounced than in San Francisco. where a downward trend is gathering increased momentum as one building after another slips into default. A once thriving business hub with headquarters of major companies including Airbnb, Twitter, Uber, along with the established giants such as Salesforce, now many of them have cut jobs and office spaces. The office vacancy and availability rate has tripled from pre-COVID. In one of the city's few office deals, Wells Fargo sold a 13-floor tower at 550 California Street for about $200 per square foot, down from the 2019 market peak of more than $1,000. It is so bad that US office buildings are unlikely to regain their pre-pandemic values until at least 2040, as demand for desk space weakens. According to new US Census data, the city's population fell by over 7% between July 2020 and July 2022, a sharper decline than that seen in the surrounding counties. When you look at the different age groups leaving the city, it shows that the city has a bleak future. In 2020 and 2022, the average age group that left San Francisco was 25 to 29, followed by 30 to 34. That's a core group of young professionals. There was an increase of those aged between 75 to 79 to the city, largely the retired age group. It is clear that everyone from commercial real estate to retailers to everyday people are fleeing San Francisco. San Francisco was once a metropolis at the center of the 1960s counterculture movement that became the center of the modern technological revolutions. But now it has to contend with a huge crime issue, homelessness, and drug addiction. It is reported that San Francisco is short more than 4,000 workers to run its 9/11 call centers, police departments, hospitals, and other critical agencies. The city is taking an average of 255 days to fill each job. The lack of workers in these critical areas has resulted in delayed police response times, overpacked hospitals, and ambulance assistance being decided based upon severity. The city is more effectively run on overtime work. Recently, the police department was approved $25 million in more police overtime and mild plans aimed at growing the city's shelter capacity. San Francisco was once the most expensive city to live in America. Now we're seeing the median sales price drop $220,000, lower than at the same time last year. The largest ever decline by a dollar amount, wiping out 13.4% in equity. Prices in Oakland, California, saw the biggest drop, falling 16.1% or $174,500, less than last year. This of course coincides with the broader US housing market. After peaking at $47.7 trillion in June, the total value of US homes declined by $2.3 trillion, or 4.9% in the second half of 2022. This is the largest drop in percentage terms since 2008, when home values slumped 5.8% from June to December. Experts are saying that the post-pandemic woes stemming from office workers staying home instead of commuting into the city could send San Francisco into a doom loop that would gut its tax base, decimate fare-reliant regional transit systems like the BART, and trap it in an economic death spiral. Last year, San Francisco topped the list of cities that homebuyers wanted to move away from. 24% of buyers in a Redfin report were looking to leave San Fran. San Francisco was once a bustling, thriving city filled with opportunity. Now the city has descended into almost anarchy. Let us know if you think San Francisco could now be considered a failed city in America.